is aerotow. You see the writing's disappeared.
And now it's recording.
And now it's recording. As we go. There you go. And then... So I suppose you stick by where the water is, just in case. Smaller fields.
Yeah, I mean at this point we're well within making a turn back to the field. But it is a very wooded area.
Off that tower at Bear Mountain, I could see there was no landable areas. So I'm assuming they use a motor glider if you're on certain parts of the Appalachian Range.
People have flown it in gliders. All the way, you know, from here down to Tennessee and back. You know, they've just, over the years, guys like Tom Knopf and Carl Schriedick and other people who have done that ridge flying, they just, you know, mapped out procedures for doing certain areas, you know, certain gaps that they have to cross, you know, how to best do that, and, you know, certain spots that are like, don't have as good a landing options. You know, they have ways of doing it, you know, making sure that the wind is there, but it's, you know, there's certain areas where just, you know, you wouldn't, there may be a ridge, but it's not good enough to fly it. Like this, the ridge here, going down, we don't actually fly that ridge going south of here.
Okay.
It's just, it gets to be too shallow, and there's no, there's not really many good options to land in if you needed to.
That feels like this. That's definitely it.
Turn on the battery if you like. Start listening.
Yeah, I've got him on the battery at the minute.
About another 500 feet to go.
Yeah.
Remember when we release...
Do you brake right or left?
We brake right, so you'll see him go down to the left, and we're going to do a climbing turn to the right. So just ease in a little bit of back pressure on the stick, and start a turn to the right. Good visibility today.
Yeah, it's quite a good range right out in the distance.
Yeah, those are the Catskill Mountains you see up there. Okay, so we're clear left and right, no traffic. We got the airfield made. Whenever you're ready. A little bit of back pressure there. Slow it down. Good. Minimum sink speed with the two of us in here is about 43.
Okay.
Best glide with both of us in here is about 52 knots. Sounds like we're getting a little bit.
So do you think to try for that one or this one in front?
Good question. But either one you think, yeah.
Let's see what happens here. We know that was strong. Definitely more landable areas that way.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, looking this way to the east, towards the Hudson River, a lot more. There's a lot more farming, a lot more open fields, and then looking west, you know, it gets. Everyone gets a little bit anxious going west of here, and you can see why. Just looking out, along the route of the highway, there's really not much out there to land in. A lot of forest. And then if you look, this way down, sort of southeast, going towards the Poconos, it's even more, forest.
So your major highways stand out very well, don't they?
Yeah. We got nice visibility today. The view of the ridge, the Catskill Mountains in the distance.
But you'd use that part of the ridge going that way?
Yeah. All the time we fly this little 10-mile section of the ridge between here, about where we are now, maybe a little bit farther to the south, and then up towards Ellenville, which is the next, small town, but next town up the ridge.
So how many members have you up here?
Oh, we're not a club.
Right,
okay. We're a commercial operation, so there's only about myself, Dan. We're the only real full-time employees. Although Dick is here almost every day. He's retired, and he comes out to help with the flying the tow plane. Almost every day he's here at the airport helping us with something or other. And we have a couple other part-time staff, flight instructors, tow pilots, ground crew, who help us out on the weekends when we're busier. We're trying to get a small club started here, and it's but right now it's just an informal group of pilots. The town just to our left there, you see the town like about 10 miles off the left wing, along the course of the highway. That's Middletown, New York, and there's a gliding club based at an airport over in Middletown called Valley Soaring Club. And every weekend they come out and fly. They're pretty active. They have, I don't know how many members, maybe, I had to guess, maybe 40 or 50.
Okay.
Maybe a smaller group than that who are more active. But they have a couple gliders. I think they have probably 5 gliders.
Okay, that's got a bit dead coming towards that one. I'll try this one. So a lot of this, would some of it be earth movement, or would there have been glaciers originally?
Say that again?
Would some of this been earth movement, or would there have been some glaciers originally?
Oh, good question. I'm not really sure. The history of the ridge. I don't think it's glacier. You know, it's like the rest of the Appalachian.
Well, a lot of it's formed in such long lines, hasn't it? As I've seen on the map.
Yeah.
A lot of it's formed in such long lines.
Yeah, we're really sort of on the northern kind of end of it here on the Appalachian Ridge. When you get down into Pennsylvania, the ridges are much more ideal for ridge running down there. I've got about 11 minutes of video so far.
Good. Well, yeah, anything you can spot as you can point down at and give a name to. We'll get over the airfield at some point.
Okay. If this whatever this is here doesn't work out, we might try along the ridge for lift. The different notches, like where the highway cuts through down there.
Okay, so follow this down now.
Yeah.
You can see there's a break here, isn't there? With what's happening there to what's happening here.
The clouds, yeah. Yeah, if you could follow along the ridge, you know, usually we have a good chance of getting something, you know, pushed off of one of these gaps by the wind, or
yeah, the sun's hitting some of the ridge anyway now, isn't it?
right. Give it a try. That's Route 17 down there on your right.
Yeah, this is my first time on the East Coast.
Okay. Route 17 again, the ridge, you can see the airport in the distance there. That's the town of Wurtsboro down below us. And just beyond the highway where it takes that turn to that big green area, sees a big swamp. It's called the Boschikill Wetland, right off your nose right now.
With a bit of a dip in the road here, would this be a normal one to pick lift up like this?
Yeah, I mean, along the ridge is kind of my default place to check on for thermals. You know, I think that the terrain, like, so even if there's a slight breeze, even if it's not a ridge day, it's not blowing right on the ridge, I think thermals will get kind of kicked off up against it, especially in those areas where the little notches are. Seem to get thermals there pretty frequently, and you know, in some spots along the ridge, it's a little more, little less vegetation. So
oh yeah, you get a bare spot in that.
More exposed, you know, it heats up better.
Yeah, you can see these started in a row down here, can't you?
Yeah.
Small ones starting in a row. Just to ease back here and try and find that little bit again. So the lakes we were looking at, are they a popular destination for campers?
Now, those are mostly privately, like private access only, those lakes up there, although there are a lot of other smaller lake, lakes of all shapes and sizes if you go out west of here. And some of those have camps or hotels, or private, you know, summer homes, weekend homes. The Catskills, you know, historically is a really popular vacation area because it's not far from New York City.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And you know, it's like the closest place where you kind of have this mountains, sort of wilderness to get away to. So probably starting before World War II, but especially after World War II in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, this was a really popular area for you know, people trying to get away from the city on vacations or summer camps, have their, you know, cabin up in the woods or bungalow colonies, stuff like that. But then in the 70s and 80s, it really took a decline because you know, it became much cheaper to buy an airline ticket and travel somewhere. You know, go travel internationally or go to Florida or wherever. I mean, at times there was, you know, there would be literally millions of people coming up here and having like a summer residence in the Catskills. And at that time, there were a lot of big hotels. There were a lot of those that are closed now, but you know, they would get big entertainment in there, big bands, comedians.
All right.
Big places, and there's just a lot of people around in the summers. It was also good for business at the airport. You know, they would do dozens of rides on summer weekends, you know, on a regular basis. They'd get a lot of business. But that kind of changed. And now if you drive around or fly around this area, you'll see a lot of abandoned hotels, abandoned cabins and bungalow colonies. You know, there's still definitely some tourist industry here, but it's nothing like what it was.
That's what tends to happen with a lot of places, isn't it? They'll get a 10 or 15 year run and then it disappears.
Yeah. You were finding some pretty good stuff over this section of the ridge. We'll see what we can do.
We're enjoying flying from Wurtsboro Airport with Warren. We've just done a little bit of thermal. We're going to follow the ridge again maybe and try and pick up a little bit more. That one up above us looks quite good.
Yeah.
The general view, looking out as the clouds are building, and the opposite way
along the
there, and we look down at the factory, and the airfield is beyond the factory. Basically noses in line with the airfield at the moment. Yeah, do you find it works better when you crab along sideways on the ridge?
Yeah, like I said, this ridge, this is like my default go-to place. I'll just fly along here when I can't find anything else. Hopefully run into something. Get a little bit of something here. Maybe coming off those rocks down there.
Yeah, where you've got a bear patch. There's been some mining done along here, was Dick telling me, yeah?
Yeah, that patch over there to our right now, we'll fly right past it actually when we do our downwind on the pattern. That's an old lead mine. But the ridge is mostly all primarily state protected or state owned land, so it'll remain undeveloped. There's some houses you can see along here on the east side of the ridge. And then up towards Allenville, there's one little town called Cramer. It's up on top of the ridge.
Okay.
But other than that, you know, pretty much all along through here, it's just, you know, it's all Where'd he go? Okay, he's up. See to the left about 10 o'clock. Keep coming left. It looks like he may be in something. Maybe we'll get in his thermal. See him there?
Yeah, so we okay at this height, venturing this far around?
We're okay, yeah. We can give it one more turn here. We do want to be wary of the altitude, but if it doesn't pan out here, we'll head back towards the airport. Yeah, alright, I guess that...
Yeah. You'll notice as we came off this gully, where we were going really well, it dropped up dramatically.
So, Graham, you see on your left, for the pattern, you see the left, there's a field down there. Come left a little bit.
Oh, down here, yeah?
More left.
More left?
Yeah.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, come 90 degrees left. And that field that's at the base of the ridge over there. We usually start our downwind at 1,500 feet over that field.
Okay.
So come around here to the left, we'll head over that way, and then we'll be in a good position to start our downwind. So we'll start our downwind leg. You got a landing checklist in front of you. You can use that one or use your own, whichever you prefer.
That's as it was coming that way. You want to do a radio call? Let's do a radio call.
Yeah, no, we don't have a radio with us, so we're good.
Okay, probably 55 knots to landing. Swim slightly. Nose forward.
Just the old lead mine down there on your right. Looking for about 55, and you want to unlock your brakes so they're ready to go.
So we're still going up.
Yeah, quite a bit of good stuff here. Go turn on the base here. Back at the runway, you can see that taxiway that cuts across. You can use that as an aim reference.
Just the trim to it.
Okay. You want to come in with a little bit of spoiler soon here. See, we're still flying away from the airport. We kind of want to square off our base so we're perpendicular. There we go. And I'd probably come in with some spoiler now. We haven't lost much really since we started our pattern.
Yeah, we were picking left up all the way up there.
So as you come in on final, you want to be in the grass just to the right of the paved runway. See the main runway with 2-3 marked on it?
Okay.
You want to be just to the right of that. There's some higher trees on the right side close to the road. You see where the road curves next to the airport? So you want to stay away from the road and those higher trees there, and be just to the right of the main paved runway. Keep your speed up through here, make sure we don't get slow. Use the brakes as necessary. Looking pretty good. And you got to keep some brakes on. At least some, yeah, a little more. Bring it down. I'll hold this off. Hold this off. Okay. The wings level, steering for the feet. Okay, we're back.
Well, that view is absolutely amazing, man.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. You can turn off that avionics switch if you want. Not a bad day, really. Okay.
It's about your aircraft, Nick, while we're here.
Well, it's L-19 bird dog. we got it from the Civil Air Patrol, because at that time the government wouldn't release them for public, but they would release them to the Civil Air Patrol. Well, this, you can put 60-degree flaps on this if you want to. And so many of these people in the Civil Air Patrol had never flown those kind of flaps, and they were killing themselves in it. When they first released them, you weren't allowed to use more than 30 degrees, but since then they have lifted that because now people are used to it.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience thing then, the flaps.
And 4 years ago we had these completely rebuilt, brand new engines and everything. And they're the best tow plane we've ever had. Okay. We've towed here with Stearmans, 450 horsepower Stearmans, 220, Waco UPFs, Super Cubs. And this is by far the best tow plane we've ever had.
Great.